Alright, I've been talking about it for a while, so let's just do it. Electrical bag, electrical tools. This here's the Klein backpack, one of them. I do not remember the model. I've had this thing for 10 years, all over the place. I've had it for commercial, ag, residential, and maintenance. The last one it was used for is maintenance. Of course, the contents switch depending on what you're doing. First off, first thing I do is I take all these little tape clips right here. These right here, well, these suck to try to loop up to there. Nobody wants to do that. You got to use two hands to get your tape off. I take a piece of copper. I believe this is number 4, solid number 4. That holds my tape. There you go. Alright, took me a while to find this container. There's a Klein backpack that has a zipper pouch right here, and this container fits in there perfectly. Let's see what I got in here. What do I got? 1032, 832, 1032, 632, some spacers for outlets, blah blah blah, washers, screws, nuts, things like that. Okay. I keep a piece of number 4 here for fishing purposes. Pair of gloves in a bag. These were used in the kitchen quite a bit on some greasy equipment. So, door stopper for maintenance purposes. What the hell's this? Some more gloves, it looks like. Not a clue. I haven't been through this bag in quite a while. Fish tape. Picked this up at a thrift store. $8.99. It's a Klein. Don't use it much. Extra bit tip. What do we got here? Number 2 Phillips and number 2 Robinson. And it looks like I got the T20, T25 out of there. Okay, some more mumbo jumbo paperwork. Alright, maintenance, what do we got here? Fluke Volstead Chester. Love that one. It's a nice one. I used to use Greenlee's for a long time. This right here is a treat. This is a Triplex. Let me set this down. Security bit set. Now, I did set everything up for an impactor drill doing maintenance. I do not use an impactor putting in devices on new construction. So, quick change tip, bits, blah blah blah. I recommend you look up this case and this set. It's a really good one. Triplet, sounds good to me. What else do we got in here? So we got some super glue that works for band-aids. The green device here. Each Cat 5 crimper, blah blah blah. Cat 5 stripper. Klein outlet tester. Oh, and in there I also keep Unibit, large one. I probably got some other crap in there too. Who knows? Alright. Let me get this put back in there and we'll open her up. Sorry, I've only got a phone for doing these. Okay, this here is a great tip. It's a DeWalt. It's not magnetic, so lots of cuss words. I recommend it for maintenance, not for new construction or remodels. It's just like your Klein multi-screwdriver. Great tip. Okay. 1 second. Alright, as we go through this bag, bear in mind it was set up for maintenance. Greenlee meter, it's got one button on it, on and off, 1000 volt rated. For dummies, I'm a dummy, I like that. Always keep a good pair of whiz snips on you. Whether you're cutting in plastic boxes, in siding mounts on outside houses, whether you're cutting drop ceiling tile, not tile, you know, whatever holds up the tiles. Knipex. Look at that little cutie. Knipex. Look at that medium-sized cutie. Knipex. This right here replaces your 440, and it is smaller, lighter, opens up just as wide. This right here replaces your Channellox 420. Smaller, opens up just as wide. And this little cutie is just a bonus. Maintenance, stud finder. Works good. I keep this when I do residential also. Putty knife. Always need a putty knife. This is a somewhat flexible putty knife. Checkpoint level, warranted for life. Rare earth magnets, works great. You can set this on your switch plate, tap it with a hammer right there. Of course, you'll have to grind that end down right there after you tap it enough times, but if you want to level out plates, whatever, it works. Square, you always keep a square. This is a square I keep. Okay, so for maintenance, I don't always want to lug around 18 million wrenches. Here's a Knipex, goes from right there, I think you can see it, 3/8 to 1 1/4, 10 to 32 millimeter. There's your multi-wrench. Keep my standard wrenches. These are taped the colors of the Klein nut drivers. Must not have had the tape for the 1/2 inch. What's that one? 5/16. This right here is your Klein multi-tool nut driver. This one is designed for HVAC. It has your 1/2 inch on there. If you go look at all the Klein multi nut drivers for electricians, they do not have a 1/2 inch on there. It don't make no sense. Okay. I keep this stripper in the bag just for the purposes of cutting bolts. Possibly a crimper if I need it. This thing sucks as a stripper. It is a Klein, but it works if you need it in a pinch. Chisel with a rasp on it, multi-purpose. Sheetrock saw, folder. Takes a standard Sawzall blade. Folds up, goes in your deal, locks in a few different positions. They are not all created equal, but you're used to what you're used to when it comes to using tools. Alright, best tape measure they ever made. They don't make them anymore. This is a Stanley Fat Max Extreme with a 14-foot standout on it. I took and I cut the little tips off. Has little tippers up here. I cut those off so it doesn't get caught on stuff. I used to own a siding company, so it doesn't get stuck in my J channel. I've had this tape measure here for probably 10 years, 12 years. Treat your tools right, they last for a long time. This is my favorite tool in the bag. This is a $100 hammer. This is a titanium 10 ounce, hits like a 16 ounce. I keep my hammer sharp. I've sharpened this one quite a few times. This is actually my third handle on this hammer. This handle's relatively new. Zip ties, gotta have zip ties. Little crapper pouch I used to wear, fits in my bag. But when you wear pants that have all the pockets, built-in promotion boots, plenty of places for phones, more tools, whatever, you don't need crap like this anymore, but it fits in there real nice. Klein drill taps. These things are a dream. Trick to longevity on these is you never, ever use them to drill your starter hole. Always use another drill bit, because when it comes time that you need these in a pinch, you know they are sharp. Nut drivers. What the hell do I even have these for? Dead weight. Oh yeah, this bag, the way it was, I think is around 43 pounds if I remember right. Sometimes you just can't get to that piece of EMT or that piece of rigid that you gotta cut. It's gonna leave a hell of a burr on the inside, then you gotta try to get a file in there to file it out so you don't skin your wires. But this thing comes in real handy. DeWalt impact ready. Goes in your impact drill right there. Right angle. Flexible if you need it. Sometimes you need to get underneath something and put a drill bit in there and drill upwards. Sometimes you need to put screws in goofy places. This thing can do it. I don't recommend using these specialty tools on an everyday basis, just the once in a while that you need them. When you got those long to reach places, here's an extension for the drill. Everything was set up for impact driver. On that rare occasion, you need to get in there and get something in there and get it out. Works. I don't like that the teeth on here are pretty sharp. The edges. This edge is pretty sharp, so you will skin wires if you're trying to pull on a loop, which is not very cool. Klein Stubby multi. 4 different bits in there. A couple different nut driver sizes, 5/16, 1/4 inch, I do believe. Emergency wire nuts. If your apprentice has these wire nuts in his tool bag, send that son of a gun home. Mostly use those for overhead lines to splice in a temporary while doing a service change out. Shim, I should have a couple more in there for shits and giggles. Smaller zip ties. Okay, let's get to the heart of the bag, the side I use the most. Alright, we'll start with the least and go to the most. Okay, so you got your standard Allen wrench sets. And I have one back here. And what these are is security Torx. So I can reach in my bag quick. I just have a standard size drill bit to start my pilot holes or whatever. With your unibits, you never use the tip on your unibit to start a hole. You're looking at an $80 bit versus a $3 bit here. Let's throw the $3 bit away. Let's keep the $80 bit good. Never start holes with your unibit. Here we go. Harbor Freight unibit. You can get that large unibit from Harbor Freight that normally costs $80 for like $20. They work just as well. Another drill bit for shits and giggles, I guess. Another extension. So that keeps 2 extensions on me. I can put these together, use them by themselves. This right here is a dream come true Malco nut driver. One side is 1/4 inch, one side is 5/16. And it's magnetic. Take it, spin it around, put it back on there. There you go, you got your nut driver. Those are your two common sizes in electrical. I do not believe there's anything underneath here. Let me look in there with my camera. Okay, nope, nothing. Alright, I do not use a needle nose for squeezing anything. Let's get the old square out and I'll show you. This right here is a $42 needle nose. Let's just lay this on here, number 2. So you see that needle nose is 3/4 of an inch thick. And I can open this up, and that's only 7/8. So I can drill holes, and I can reach into those holes still, because it doesn't get too wide right here. That is a 2612-200 Knipex. Go Knipex. That only gets used for grabbing things. That doesn't get used for anything else. Hand tap. You usually don't use a hand tap, but sometimes you need to. That is the multi-tap, so it has on each end 632, 832, 1032, 1/4 whatever. There's a few of them on there. You start to forget the sizes after time. Okay, let's carry on here. What do we got here? Number 2 Robinson. Number 1 Robinson. Number 2 flat. I like all my screwdrivers 6 inches. That way I can get into small places and reach in there. If you're not a dummy, you know what you're doing, you're not going to get electrocuted. And you can see I do tape them. That is not a guarantee, but it helps. Call it confidence measure, call it whatever. Number 2 Phillips. This is one I rarely use, but it's in there. Now, start back down here. Utility knife. It's got a little curve on it. Easy to change the blades. I'm old school. I use this to strip Romex. Okay, same pocket. This is the stripper I prefer. Klein, not even sure. Was the size it does. Probably can't see them. 20 to 10 solid. Easy to strip off, go fast. This one right here I bought last year. I started doing maintenance, just gets a lot smaller. Goes stranded, 26 stranded to 16 stranded. Use it like 4 times. I usually use my teeth for stuff like that. And yes, my teeth are still just fine. Alright. End snips, dikes, whatever you want to call them. I always get the curved ones. Never know when you need to pry something. Now, when it comes to Klein, there's a blue handle and there's a red handle. The blue handle is more tempered, I do believe. But I do get the Journeyman series where the handles are a little bit thicker, a little bit more cushion on them. Number 1 flat, 3/16, whatever you want to call it, 6 inch. Now this one right here is a gem. This is the one. I recommend this for everybody who's doing anything hot. All this is a 1/4 inch bit handle. You can put all your 1/4 inch bits in there. You can adapt sockets to that. You can adapt drill bits to that. You can adapt whatever the hell you want to that. This is 1,000 volt rated. So you don't have to buy $700 worth of all those tools being insulated. If you need that insulated tool for that one-time job, you pull this out, you stick your bit in there, you can put any one of those bits on this driver. $10. $10. 1,000 volt rated. Let's work smarter, not harder. And that means by carrying 80,000 pounds of tools around with you too. This here is my favorite screwdriver. 5/16, 6-inch. I hammer the shit out of them. Void the warranty if they're hammered, but I sharpen my screwdrivers when they need to be sharpened. Whirly twirly. Putting on your plates, putting in your switches. I used to work with a guy that would carry a number 2 Phillips of one of these, and he would run in 3-inch wood screws. He was a fucking beast. Okay, this is another whirly twirly where you can change out the tips. This one comes with a multi-tip, so a regular tip would fall in there. Now the last one I had, I found little round rare earth magnets. I stacked like 4 of them up and they went in there, and then I could just fit standard bits in there without them falling out. That's a really, really nice tool to have, especially when it comes to that XXX multi-bit set. Okay, now, and you got your standard 11-in-1 Klein. Trick with these is you never use these for nut drivers. When you use these for nut drivers, these right here do not stay in there anymore. They start to fall out. Do not use your all-in-ones for nut drivers when they slide in and out. That's what the all-in-one nut driver is for. Or the nut driver. Okay, let me see. This is the one I used to use forever. Now that's the Klein Reman handles you can buy and put on there. This is the only Klein lineman's that comes with a non-insulated crimp. And it's got a nice small tip on there, so when you're working in single gang boxes and residential, you can reach in there and you can still grab stuff. And for your Buchanans, because I do not use green wire nuts for my grounds, I do not use wire nuts for my grounds, I use a crimp-on Buchanan. That's the only Klein that has a non-insulated crimp. So when I was doing maintenance, then I switched. Now this is the Klein Hybrid. Has wire stripper, cutter, the regular wire twister, non-insulated crimper, 832, 632 bolt cutter on there. Now, this one doesn't work as well. Let me tell you a little secret here. This right here. Your fish tape will fit right in there. And you put your fish tape through your fingers there, and you can literally pull yourself up a wall just by one hand squeezing on this. You put your fish tape in there, and you don't damage your fish tape either. So when it comes to pulling on fish tapes, loosen it up, slide it down, pull it out. Loosen it up, slide it down, pull it out. Works great. A lot safer. You're not going to slip, you're not going to hurt something, you're not pulling on your hands. Alright, this is the writing pocket. What do we got in there? Standard Sharpie, every electrician's got to carry one. I got stupid and bought a copper colored Sharpie once. It's a piece of shit, I don't recommend it. You can't see it worth a crap. Standard pencil, Menards, whatever. Okay, now this is my I am building pianos pencil. When I need to do nice, fine, detailed work, or if I'm writing on panel legends, this is my lead pencil that I pull out. This is it's like a $30 lead pencil. It's worked for many years, and it's been sweet. Okay, now let's talk about a standard terminal screwdriver. Most people carry your 1/8-inch screwdriver. This right here is the exact size for thermostats, stuff like that. What size is this? This is a 964. You can't even find this at the damn electrical supply house. I had to go to Ace Hardware and buy this one, but it is sweet. It is the exact size. Fits right in there. There's no sloppage. It's not too big. You're not rubbing plastic away. This is the terminal screwdriver if you had to have one. Oh. Get this in here. I always put my a lot of my small stuff in there face up. It's a lot more dangerous if you reach into the bag, but I'm not poking holes in the bottom of my bag. Okay? Your bag needs to last, and you need to be smart when you're reaching into your bag. Now for another terminal screwdriver, let's see if I can open this one up. This is just a cheap go. Back unscrews. You just got a bunch of random bits that come out. Why carry 8 million terminal screwdrivers when you ain't using them all day? Unless you're a low voltage junkie, then maybe you need to have them. And of course they go right into the tip. They magnetize in there. The tips themselves I do not believe are strong enough to be magnetic. This is just a cheap piece of crap, but it works like a dream. Okay. We did forget some stuff, it looks like. Old school voltage tester here. You got to have your finger on this metal part. You put that on metal part, and it taped on each side of the light bulb, so I didn't have to look for the light bulb because it's pretty dim. Light bulb that lights up in there. I haven't used that thing in years. Okay, this is what I used to use before the fluke tester at the beginning of the video, Greenlee. They get a little bit wonky. 3 ways will still get you, things like that. Magnet, extendable, Streamlight flashlight, takes quad A's, so it's a pain in the dick. What's nice is you can go into an attic and you can stick this down a hole that somebody drilled, and you can slide your fish stick down right next to this hog and get it right into the box. Ha ha! You guys know what that is? Old school phone tester. Almost a thing of the past. There's some quad A's for the Streamlight. Okay. Klein punch. Start my drill holes with that sometimes. Cat's paw flat bar, little mini one. Works good. Okay, now, y'all remember that saw right there? So you can carry extra blades on you. Not only do these work in your Sawzall, they work in your saw. So what I did, this blade, or I should say this blade, used to look like this. See, I cut it down. Same with this blade. I cut this blade down too. Because a standard hole in residential, what size is this? 7/8. 7/8. And when you try to stick this blade into a hole like this, you can't get up to the